Well, it's that time of the show now, my favorite time of the show, where
Absolutely.
it's time to talk fantasy golf. And, last week I didn't do so well in my leagues or my DraftKings, but I did do well with my picks that I
Right.
offered up here. The
Yeah.
problem last week was the DraftKings released the numbers so late that when we're picking sleepers and
Yeah.
favorites, it was tough to tell.
Yeah.
So my sleeper, Emiliano Grillo,
Wins the tournament.
So,
So you
it
did
was a
pick the
good
winner.
pick. But if I saw his DraftKings number, I wouldn't have put him as a sleeper because
Right.
he was about the 10th
Yeah,
highest.
he was in the middle. Now he's way up. But
But how we did last week, I had Koepka to win. He finished tied for 41st. You had McIlroy. He finished tied for 26th. Not so great there.
Right.
But we did have top 10 picks in Justin Rose,
Yep.
top 20 picks in Matsuyama, Daniel Berger, Hudson Swafford, and Brandt Snedeker. And all 12 of our picks made the cut.
and that's probably you want to pick the winner. But picking a winner out of all that group of guys is tough to do. You want to be consistent in having your guys making the cuts, because if they make the cuts and one of them does actually win or finish in a couple of them finish in the top 10, you're going to have a better chance to win your pool or do well on DraftKings.
Yeah, and get the winner.
Yeah, exactly.
So this week we're going to try to pick the
Let's see
winner.
what we can
It's
do.
the Shriners Hospitals for Children Open, TPC Summerlin, Las Vegas. You played it. Tell us a little bit about the course.
It's a tough course. It's very tight, and the greens are fast as they get. It's a very difficult course, but great layout. It's one of those things where accuracy is going to be at a premium, though. You can't just bomb it all over the place because there's desert on either sides of the fairways, and there's a lot of trouble to get into if you're putting it left or right off the tee.
Well, I don't know if these guys are bringing a better game to the TPC Summerlin than you did. If it'll be as
Probably.
difficult for these guys,
Probably.
but
I played a few tees forward than they'll play.
so we got some names in this field that we haven't seen yet this year, and Jason Duffner, Keegan Bradley, Ricky Fowler
Yep.
playing his first event in
Ricky's-
2016.
he's
Davis
back.
Love the third's playing. It's similar to last week in that there is a little bit of star power, but we're going to be missing obviously.
Rory's out.
Spieth's out,
George
Jason
Spieth's
Day.
out. Yeah.
So, but
DJ's out. None of those guys are playing. So.
should be fun, and another West
Yeah.
Coasters for East Coast primetime viewing.
Love that Golf
It was
Channel.
5 to 8 slot on Golf Channel.
Golf Channel can cover every tournament as far as I'm concerned. They do a great job.
Yeah, I agree. So, who we got for winners this week? I'll let you go first.
Well, I'm going to take a local product there in Las Vegas. Played at UNLV and he's won 4 times on tour. He won this tournament in 2012 and set the tournament record at 260. I'm going to go with Ryan Moore. So I like
He had a
him.
good finish last week.
He did. He was tied for 10. He was T10 last week, and he's playing well, going home. So
I can't argue with that pick, seeing he holds the tournament record
Yeah.
on the same course.
yeah,
And he's playing well now. You can get him for $10,000 on DraftKings this
yeah,
week, which is
he's up there.
He's up there, but for a guy like you said that holds a tournament record and came in 10th place last week, probably a good pick.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of stubborn. I went with Koepka last
Yeah,
week,
you did.
and he did not win. He came in tied for 41st, but you know what?
He's going with him again,
I'm going
people.
with my man again because I just really feel like this is he's going to have a breakout season. I'd like to see him get something under his belt before we get
Yeah.
into the new year.
I mean, that's a solid pick every week. I mean, I don't know what happened with the 4th round last week at Fry's, but it's hard to go against him. Every week that he's playing, he's going to be a threat to win the tournament.
Well, he tied for 4th last year at the Shriners. Disappointing, he tied for 41st last week at the Fry's. Up and down, 69 and 66, but also a 72 in a final round 75.
Yeah.
The thing about Koepka, he's 8th in driving distance. He has more eagles than anyone else had on tour in 2015. He's ranked 1st last season in putting from 48 feet.
So-
and what's more, that's such a great category
Yeah.
because those are the ones that are just outside the
He's not yipping any.
makeable. No, maybe he's yipping them from inside, but 4 to 8, he's
Yeah.
money. He's the number 11 ranked player in the world playing in the Shriners.
He's playing every
something's
week.
got to give, and DraftKings has him surprisingly at 10,900,
Yeah.
which is the second highest player
Behind
on the
Fowler.
board, behind Ricky Fowler.
Yeah.
And for a guy who hasn't
He's getting
playing great, he seems to be getting too much love
He's
from
getting a
guys
lot
like
of
me.
He's getting a lot of love, and but he's playing a lot. Those young guys, they play all the time. So he's done what he needs to do. He's definitely a guy to be reckoned with in the years to come, and can't argue with your pick there.
And I hope I'm not. Sometimes I start to like a guy, and And I think I really feel like Koepka is about to get hot. It's like in the summer when I was riding Jason Day.
Yeah.
Before he won his tournaments, I
Right.
could feel like he was going to break through. And then when he did, he has a beautiful few weeks of fantasy golf.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So those are our winners, Koepka and more. Now we got to fill out our teams here. So we got 4 strong plays to advise to our viewers, and then 1 sleeper. My first strong play is Will Wilcox. You can get him for only $8,200
Bargain.
At DraftKings. He's tied for 10th at the Fry's last week. And this guy's been all around the top of PGA Tour leaderboards this summer. He was tied for 8 at John Deere, 2nd place at the Barbasol Championship, tied for 21st at the Quicken Loans, tied for 10th at the Barracuda Championships, tied for 26th at the Wyndham. And the young fella hold a shot last week. He's another one of these young guys that's going to break through and become another 20-year-old winner.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many guys we're talking about now. For so many years it was, 5 to 8 guys that we were talking about. Now we're talking about 20 guys that could come out and win a tournament. Guys that haven't won, have just started playing on tour. Now, I mean, all these guys are they're ready to break out, and it's fun to watch all these guys.
So who you got for a strong play?
Well, I'm not getting off of him until he proves me wrong, but Brandt Snedeker, he's at 10,100 on DraftKings, but he's a cut machine. He makes every cut. He's always in contention. He did scare me last week with that opening 73, but after that, for 3 rounds, he was 11 under. If he puts 4 rounds together, I like him in the top 5 of the tournament, or to possibly break through and win. He was T10 at the event last year. And again, he's one of the surest bets on tour for a week-to-week making cuts and putting your fantasy team in contention.
Yeah, your team never looks bad with Snedeker on there.
Yeah.
I got Scott Piercy. You can get him at DraftKings for $9,700. Tied for 7th last year on the same course in the same event. He came on end of the year during the playoffs, 3rd at the BMW, 25th at the Tour Championship. Feel good about Piercy. I'll run off a couple more right now in my strong plays. Hudson Swafford. I went on and on about him last week, and he didn't disappoint. He came in tied for 17th last week. He's tied for 18th last year. He's a bargain on DraftKings for $7,400. This is the bargain of all bargains, people. I'm telling you, he's made the cut in 12 of 16 starts.
Yep.
Of his last 16 starts, he's ranked 10th in total driving, 22nd all around, and $7,400 on DraftKings. And another guy who's even more of a bargain than Swafford. I'm going with bargains.
I'm going bargain. I might go a little different, but you go ahead.
But guy who tied for 17th at the Fry's and watched his fellow countrymen win, Fabian Gomez. 2 top 40 finishes in his last 2 FedEx playoff events. Fellow Argentine, probably inspired by Grillo's win.
Yeah.
Made the cut in 17 of his 27 career PGA Tour starts. Fabian Gomez at $6,500, I think, is a strong play. I would think about Gomez at $7,500.
Yeah.
So who are you going to go with Snedeker for your strong plays?
We talk about all these young guys, and I love them all, but I'm not ready to just start picking all of them. So I'm going to stay a little chalk and go with Ricky Fowler. I know he didn't play so good in the President's Cup after the first day, but he's the highest rated guy on DraftKings at 12,200. He had 7 top 10s last year with 2 wins, 2 big wins, by the way. One was the Players, and then one in the FedEx Cup playoffs. And he lives in Vegas. He's probably played that course 1,000 times as well. He's just a good play for me. I'm going to stay with the hot hand with Emiliano Grillo. He's won his last 2 tournaments, and obviously he's up the list pretty high too. So you can't take all of these guys, but he's at 10,200. I think he's 3rd on the list.
I'm not taking Grillo this week because I have a rule: fantasy golf. Guy has a career-changing win, whether it's his first PGA Tour win or his first major. I don't take him the next week. I just don't do it.
It's Vegas. He's going to be out every night. He's spending all that $1.8 million.
I don't do it. But I got burned with Jason Day when he won the PGA. I said I'm not taking him the next week.
I would definitely. I don't know if I go 3 weeks in a row, but this week I'm going to take him. I think he's got a hot hand, and he's going to ride it for a little bit more.
10,200 on DraftKings.
Yep, he's moved right up the list pretty quick.
Yeah, more than Brandt Snedeker.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then my other solid pick is Patrick Rogers. He was T6 last week. He was T2 at Wells Fargo last year. He's 9th in overall driving distance at 307 yards. He's playing really well, and he's one of those guys that is a breakout guy. He's going to win one of these next few weeks here. I feel good about him.
So how about your sleeper? Who you got?
I'm going to keep riding Ollie Sneederjans because he keeps getting these tour exemptions. And one of these days, he's going to bang through and win one of these.
Yeah, I really like him. I was high
tour.
on him. You know, early on, I thought he was going to be just a phenom, basically come on tour and light things up. You know, not unlike you know, Tiger Woods or Jordan Spieth. I felt like he was going to be the next to elevate, and he kind of has disappointed a little bit. But at 6,800, it's a good play.
And he's consistent, you know, and his game holds up well. He going back to the British. He plays, you know, plays in all kinds of conditions. He's very consistent with it, and one of these days he's going to break through. So I'm looking forward to him getting his permanent card.
My sleeper pick, and I'm going deep sleeper, 5,300 on DraftKings, and it's Stuart Appleby. For 5,300, you get a guy with the experience of Stuart Appleby. So if you want to top load your team, if you want Fowler, Griot, Koepka, you're going to need a guy at 5,300 like Stuart Appleby.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Fries.com was his first tournament since the Pebble Beach Pro-Am in February. And he finished tied for 61st at the Fries and made the cut. And so he's getting back into the swing. You know, I expect to see improvement this week. And I think for 5,300 that Stuart Appleby could easily find himself in the top 10 at the Shriners. So
I was surprised when you made that pick. I thought you were going to go with Johnny Vegas in Vegas, but you know, Appleby's a winner, a proven tour player. He's won a lot of tournaments. That's not a bad pick, especially at $5,300.
So have fun making your teams on DraftKings. Good luck in all your fantasy golf leagues.